My name's Jens Bader. I'm 42 years old. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer of Secure Trading, a payment processor headquartered in the UK, and I've been working in the online gaming and payment processing space for the last 16 years. I started about 16 years ago, and back then I worked for a company that developed mobile technology and most of all mobile payments, and since then I really got interested and stayed interested in payments and payment processing. And in the very early days of internet growth, as a payment processor, you look for the large volumes, and those volumes really were in the online gaming space, and that's where I interface between payments and gaming and operational activities, basically making sure that money is coming in and that we have the right kind of commercial mindset. Secure Trading is a payment processor. We are established for many, many years, I think about 18 years now in the industry. We work with a large range of companies, so we're not just working in the online gaming space, but we process payments for traditional e-commerce companies, in the travel space, educational space. We're a multi-billion GBP processor. We work with about 7,000 different merchants and operators worldwide. We're connected to more than 70 different acquiring banks, and that probably is the widest reach you could get globally in terms of connectivity for payment processing. So, very established company, very solid business, lots of experience. That's basically Secure Trading. So we have what people would refer to a gateway service. That basically is a connection between your website and an acquiring bank, where we technically take care of the transaction and make sure that the responses and the messaging is being sent between website and acquiring and issuing bank. But we also have a full acquiring license, so we're an acquiring institution, and we just launched this in July this year, and our acquiring institution is based in Malta. So we transformed from a gateway-only business into an acquiring business earlier this year, and that's very exciting times. So right now we're an end-to-end solution provider. We provide the connectivity, we provide the acquiring, and we provide seamless security services for cybersecurity, fraud prevention, and risk management. We operate mainly in Europe, but we have a large business interest in the US as well. We have connectivity worldwide, but to be fair, over the last couple of years we have mainly concentrated on European business. So historically a lot of UK business, that's where the company is established, but now we have global ambitions. We have a big sales team, and we're basically trying to attract those big global players. We just got a few merchants in that take most of their business from Asia. Very exciting, sometimes very challenging to do business with, but historically a lot of Europe, going forward really global ambitions. I guess the real difference is that we're a true end-to-end solution provider. We've got all the licenses in place for acquiring, we've got the gateway, and we have the cybersecurity piece to it. So everything you need you get from Secure Trading. And we're an acquirer by our own rights, but we also connect to about 70 different acquiring banks worldwide. And that really is very unique, because there is no other gateway out there that works with more acquiring banks than we do. So the real advantage here for merchants is that we can place their business with several different banks, and that gives them a lot of safety, it gives them reliability, it also gives them choice to be able to optimize their flow, their volume. It gives them a pricing optimization and benefit as well. So by simply connecting to our gateway, we basically open the world to 70 different acquirers. Well, consolidation is a big trend. We see a lot of our competitors making acquisitions or being acquired. So the industry itself is consolidating. There is pricing pressure. Payment processing is being seen as a commodity very often, and so it's quite competitive, the market, and that's one of the reasons why we see the consolidation in the first place. So that's really one of the major things in our industry right now. It's changing the landscape, it's changing the market. We also see that it's not enough to be a local player. You have to have a global reach. You have to offer global payment options, because all the merchants nowadays, all the meaningful ones, they have global ambitions. They need to be able to take payments from China. They need to be able to take payments from Russia. So, you know, you have to grow your portfolio in a meaningful way to support cross-border commerce. So it's an ever-changing product portfolio and a lot of consolidation in the market. And very often it's you know, make or buy decision. We've seen so many big players coming to the payments space now. We've just seen Apple announcing Apple Pay, something that's very exciting. It excites the whole industry. There's lots of opportunities with such a big player like Apple, recognizing how important payments is. We also see that the investment community is now getting, you know, very excited about Apple joining payments. So they're getting very active in exploring the payment space and see, you know, if Apple is playing there, then we should be interested in that. So we see a lot of new companies coming into the space with very innovative technology, very smart ways of approaching not just the payment itself, but, you know, the user experience and the data strategy behind it. A payment nowadays is almost worth nothing if you don't have the data. So we see companies like Square, iZettle, Stripe. We see companies from the mobile space. We see Apple, but we also see the big brands like Facebook getting their e-money licenses in place and looking into a peer-to-peer transfer service. We see a lot of micro-lending websites being launched. The whole financial services industry really is driven by technology and by innovation, and that's the exciting part really. So, you know, you have to be on your toes really to keep up. You really have to make sure that you understand how the industry is changing. You have to keep up with all the developments. So it's not just a job that you go to in the morning and then you switch off in the evening. I would say you have to constantly stay informed to be able to maintain your top spot in the industry. So it's a big challenge really to digest all the information and all the developments in the market and make sense of them and see what's important, what do I need to monitor, what do I need to follow. So yeah, it's the constant flow of information and digesting this information and, you know, translating it into something meaningful and then basically deploy it within your own company. You know, a lot around security needs to improve. You know, we still see that in some instances payments are not as secure as they should be. You know, if money is changing between two different parties, then the connection needs to be safe, but also, you know, the environments where it happens, so the system security, all these kind of things. There needs to be an end-to-end security, and that needs to become the norm. It needs to become really, you know, established, and that's something we really need to work on. We hear a lot about data breaches, we hear a lot about people, account takeovers, people card details being breached and being abused, and chargebacks and all these kind of things. And I think just on the security side, fraud prevention, there is still a lot we need to do. More and more commerce is moving from the real world into the online world. So I think every year the statistics say it's about 2% that's moving online, you know, in favor of online, basically from the real world. And as the online commerce is growing, we see more and more transactions, and that is a bigger potential for abuse and a bigger potential for fraudsters. So I think the security part is really, it's one of the key elements going forward, and we need to make sure that whatever we do, it's as secure as possible. Innovation, Apple Pay, big brands coming to the market, Google playing around with a wallet, PayPal launching products almost on a monthly basis. So we see a lot of new technologies, we see a lot of new kind of ways of interacting with consumers, and you know, the whole business really is going global. So you get to work a lot with, you know, other cultures, other you know, societies and mentalities. So I think the highlight really is that, you know, payments is becoming a truly global kind of industry. And, you know, if you want to work in payments, then you have to develop that global mindset really. You need to be prepared to work globally, not being afraid of having to work in different cultures. As a payment processor, you know, you get to work with Asian merchants, you get to work with African merchants. You also need to be interested in technology, that helps a lot. So I still believe that poker to a certain extent is a skill game. And I like to imagine that, that my skills basically determine my success. So far I have been rather unsuccessful, and that's why I try to keep my gaming activities at a very low minimum. But yeah, I like poker most. I think it has the highest kind of interactivity between the operator and the gamer, and I think you can at least influence and get some fun out of the gameplay. I don't play the lottery. My parents play the lottery, and they have been doing so for 40 years at least. They've never won anything, and I guess I've just, I've learned the lesson there. So, people do like it. I don't play it. I never think about the lottery, but I appreciate it's a big industry, and, we love to work with lottery operators, but I don't play myself.